Baldwin IV, King of Jerusalem from 1174 to 1185, is one of the more fascinating and tragic figures in the history of the Crusader states. He's often referred to as the Leper King due to his affliction with leprosy. Early life and ascendancy. Born 1161 to Amalaric I of Jerusalem and Agnes of Courtenay. Prognosis. Around the age of 9, Baldwin showed a remarkable insensitivity to pain, which his tutor, William of Tyre, a renowned historian, recognized as a sign of leprosy. Succession. His father, Amalaric I, died in 1174, and because Baldwin's older sister Sibylla was considered less suitable due to political concerns, and later her questionable marriage, Baldwin, only 13 years old, became king. Reign and challenges. Regency. Initially, the kingdom was ruled by regents, first Miles of Plancy, then Raymond III of Tripoli. Assumption of power. Baldwin took personal control of the government around 1176, despite his young age and worsening condition. Military leadership. Baldwin proved to be a skilled and courageous military leader. He frequently led his troops in battle, even as his disease progressed. Notable victories include Battle of Montgizard, 1177, a stunning victory against Saladin's much larger army. Baldwin, despite being weakened by leprosy, personally led the charge. Succession crisis. As Baldwin's leprosy worsened, the issue of succession became paramount. He was unmarried and childless. Efforts to find a suitable husband for his sister Sibylla and secure succession led to political intrigues and factionalism within the kingdom. Guy of Lusignan. Baldwin eventually allowed his sister Sibylla to marry Guy of Lusignan in 1180. This was a highly controversial decision, as Guy was considered politically inept and unpopular among many of the nobles. Baldwin hoped that this marriage would provide an heir and strengthen the kingdom. However, he quickly came to regret this decision, as Guy proved to be a poor leader. Co-regency and Baldwin V. Recognizing Guy's incompetence, Baldwin attempted to secure succession for his nephew, Baldwin V, Sibylla's son from a previous marriage. He had Baldwin V crowned king in 1183 and appointed Raymond III of Tripoli as regent should he die before Baldwin V reached adulthood. Relinquishing rule. By 1185, Baldwin IV was almost completely incapacitated. He was blind, his body was ravaged by leprosy, and he could no longer effectively rule. He appointed Raymond III of Tripoli as regent. His leprosy was a major factor shaping his reign and the kingdom's politics. He was a skilled military leader, particularly remembered for his victory at Montgizard. The succession crisis created by his illness and his sister's choices significantly weakened the Kingdom of Jerusalem. His story has been romanticized and popularized in modern fiction, particularly in films like Kingdom of Heaven, though these portrayals often take liberties with historical accuracy. Baldwin IV's reign was a pivotal period in the history of the Crusader states. His personal struggles and political maneuvering had a profound impact on the fate of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. He stands as a testament to courage and determination in the face of immense suffering. The Battle of Montgizard, fought on November 25, 1177, was a pivotal moment in Baldwin IV's reign and a testament to his military skill and courage. It's considered one of the most remarkable victories of the Crusader Kingdom of Jerusalem. Saladin's campaign. Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, was consolidating his power and posed a significant threat to the Crusader states. In 1177, he launched a large-scale invasion of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, aiming to strike a decisive blow and capture the city. Saladin's overconfidence. Saladin's army was vast, estimated at over 26,000 soldiers. He likely underestimated the strength and resolve of the Crusader forces, believing they were weakened and divided. He split his army into raiding parties, allowing his main force to move slowly. Baldwin's situation. Baldwin IV, only 16 years old and already suffering from advanced leprosy, was at Ascalon with a relatively small force. Estimates vary, but he likely had around 500 knights and several thousand infantry. Many of the kingdom's knights were away on other duties. The battle. Baldwin's strategy. Despite being outnumbered and ill, Baldwin made a bold decision to intercept Saladin. He knew that if Saladin reached Jerusalem, the city would be vulnerable. He marched his small army north towards Jerusalem, hoping to meet Saladin's forces. Religious significance. Baldwin ordered the true cross to be carried before his army, boosting morale and imbuing the battle with religious significance. The surprise attack. Baldwin's forces caught Saladin's army by surprise near Mount Gizzard, modern-day Gezer, Israel. Saladin's army was dispersed, with many soldiers foraging for supplies. The Crusader charge. Baldwin, despite his physical condition, led a direct charge against Saladin's center. The initial impact of the Crusader Knights was devastating. Saladin's troops were unprepared and disorganized. Baldwin's role. Accounts emphasize Baldwin's personal courage and leadership. He fought valiantly in the thick of the battle, inspiring his troops to fight harder. Some accounts say he was nearly unhorsed at one point. Saladin's retreat. The Crusader attack threw Saladin's army into chaos. Many of his soldiers were killed or captured. Saladin himself barely escaped with his life, fleeing back to Egypt with a small remnant of his once powerful army. Consequences. A significant victory. The Battle of Mount Gizzard was a resounding victory for the Kingdom of Jerusalem. It demonstrated the effectiveness of Crusader heavy cavalry against larger, less disciplined armies. Boost to morale. The victory significantly boosted morale in the Crusader states. It showed that Saladin could be defeated, even by a much smaller force. Delayed Saladin's plans. The battle temporarily disrupted Saladin's plans to conquer the Crusader states. It bought the Kingdom of Jerusalem valuable time, although the underlying problems of internal divisions and succession remained. Baldwin's reputation. Mount Gizzard solidified Baldwin IV's reputation as a courageous and capable king, despite his illness. It demonstrated his strategic acumen and leadership abilities. False sense of security. Despite being a major victory, it may have given the Crusaders a false sense of security. The divisions in the kingdom continued to fester, and the threat from Saladin was merely delayed, not eliminated. 1174, defense against Damascus. Shortly after becoming king, at the age of 13, Baldwin faced a threat from Damascus, which was not yet fully under Saladin's control. While Baldwin himself likely didn't lead troops directly in this early period, it was one of the initial challenges he faced. The Crusader forces under the leadership of their regents were able to repel the Damascene forces. 1176, raids around Damascus. Baldwin began to personally lead military expeditions by 1176. He led small raiding parties to harass territories around Damascus controlled by Saladin. These were smaller-scale skirmishes intended to keep Saladin occupied and disrupt his plans. 1177, Battle of Mount Gizzard. This was Baldwin IV's greatest military triumph. He led a much smaller Crusader army to a decisive victory against Saladin's forces. His leadership, courage, and tactical acumen were instrumental in achieving this victory. 1179, Battle of Marj-Ayyun. This battle was a significant setback for the Crusaders. Baldwin IV led his forces against Saladin in the Bekaa Valley. The Crusader forces were defeated, and Baldwin himself was nearly captured, requiring rescue by Humphrey II of Torham. The loss was demoralizing and highlighted the increasing strength of Saladin's forces. The Battle of Marj-Ayyun showcased Saladin's resurgence after Mount Gizzard. 1179, capture of Jacob's Ford. Shortly after Marj-Ayyun, Saladin launched an attack on Jacob's Ford, a strategically important unfinished castle built by the Templars. Baldwin attempted to relieve the siege, but was too late. Saladin captured and destroyed the fortress, further weakening the Crusader defenses. While Baldwin participated in the effort to relieve the castle, he was unsuccessful. 1180, minor skirmishes and raids. The period after the defeats of 1179 saw smaller-scale skirmishes and raids. Baldwin, despite his worsening condition, continued to lead troops in these engagements, although his role was increasingly limited. 1182, Battle of Belvoir Castle. Baldwin led a Crusader army to relieve the siege of Belvoir Castle, which was under attack by Saladin. The Crusaders managed to lift the siege, but it was not a decisive victory. 1183, military operations with Guy of Lusignan. After making Guy of Lusignan his regent, Baldwin sent him to lead military expeditions. However, Guy's leadership proved to be ineffective. Guy's hesitancy to engage Saladin's forces even when at a tactical advantage angered many of the nobles and highlighted his incompetence. This failure further eroded trust in Guy and contributed to the succession crisis. Death. Baldwin IV died in 1185 at the age of 24. Succession. Baldwin V succeeded him, but the young king died just a year later. This triggered a succession crisis that ultimately led to the disastrous Battle of Hattin in 1187 and the fall of Jerusalem to Saladin. Historical significance. Baldwin IV is remembered as a brave and capable king who, despite his debilitating illness, fought tirelessly to defend his kingdom. He is often seen as a tragic figure, a symbol of resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity.